What's up, YouTube? We are back out in the garage once again. Finally made a little tiny bit of progress on this stupid XLCH, but here's where we're at. I ran the power wires from the generator, which are just kind of looped around on the field and the armature terminal, to this general direction. I didn't sheath them, I didn't do anything else. Still needs to be done. The last video I just posted, well, one of the last couple over the weekend, was the generator. Somebody asked about, isn't there a special thing for polarizing or reflashing? If you follow and watch this video, please go back. Got a dog hair on the lens here. Please go back to the generator / why won't you charge video, one of those two. I explain it, where you take the hot side of the battery and jump it to the armature side of the generator. We're gonna have to do that again. I just don't want to keep making the same videos, even though I'm doing two different bikes. It's the same stuff on both. So here is the XLCH. We've got the pups out in the garage with us today. And my goal is to, like I said, I didn't loom or sheath any of these things, but I am going to try and get the electrical at least close to hooked up. And running a mechanical generator, there's another jumper that I think I need to jump 2 terminals to polarize the generator, or the regulator as well, not rectifier. Rectifier is a later model bike. This is a mechanical regulator. So I got a field terminal, a armature terminal. I'm going to throw you guys on the tripod, and we are going to roughly lay this out. I think normally I'd do little eyelet terminals here and re-tighten these down. I'm going to run some sandpaper and emery cloth over the bottom of these bolts. Make sure it's got a nice connecting area first. But I think I'm going to do little, the crow's feet, the little not spades, but the slotted connectors here, just for diag, and then I can clean all of this up later on. Right now, I don't really care all that much. I just need to get everything else laid out. It is ready to start, actually, minus oil. But if I add some fluids, timing is done. Everything else is pretty much good. I still got to throw the carb in, which I haven't grabbed from the back of the van, but I've been putting off the electrical on this forever. So let's lay out some wires, and then I'll explain why this is taking so long. And we'll start from there. So let me throw you guys up on a tripod, or just get another new one, see if it works any better with the stupid GoPro, because I'm trying to use this more than I did on the iPhone setup. So on the generator side, I don't know what the best view is. I'll put you guys over there for right now. But we have my 2 wires that I just ran. I'm not heat shrinking. I'm not doing anything. I will come back and refinalize this. But for right now, I'm going to get this laid out where it's fireable and runnable. Still got to flash everything and do a ton of stuff. But we're doing 2 little spade connectors here. So we have our F. The back side of a generator is going to be your field. And we're doing spades here for now. I know how to lay these out. I know how to make them work, but I'm not an electrical engineer. So if anybody else is smarter than I am, which is probably most of you, feel free to chime in. And then A, or your armature, is the front side. So same thing here. I'm going to disconnect that. We're going to put another little split terminal on here. Crimp them down nice and tight. And then I get to figure out which one's which on the back side of this bike. I'm not going for the prettiest wiring job in the world right now either. This is strictly a matter of, let's try and get this thing laid out so it's ready to run. Alright, so A is this lead off the back side. So we're going to start this. Now I know which one's which. And here is the regulator. I have one stripped and one not, and like I said, this is kind of jammed in between the oil lines and the swing arm. It is not the best in the world by any means. And I do have one more mechanical regulator somewhere over here for reference. Let's see what we got. There's too much crap. So these posts are all labeled. So this one's our battery plus. So this is going to go to the hot side of the battery. I know that much. I'm going to run this crappy connection. Again, all of the electrical is going to go back. And I'm going to redo all of these things at some point. But right this current second, we are not doing that. And then I have a, let's see what these two are. All right, DF right here is going to be our field. So, which one did I cut? I crimped the armature, which is the one that I actually don't need right now. So D plus is going to go right here. Let me throw another little crow's foot connector on here. And like I said, this is all going to get redone again at some point. So I'm taking another split leg connector, leaving everything long. Got a million of these, so I'm not crazy cheap when it comes to the actual terminal connections. But this is our armature connection. So this is going to connect right here. I'm going to loop the wire underneath the battery tray for now. Let me grab a flathead. So D plus is going to be our hot. And we'll clean all of these up again. I don't know how I can say this a million times. You can already see it in the comments. You can't run it like that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Like, clean up those wires. We're gonna. No worries. Okay, so D plus is our armature connection. Then we have our ground down at the bottom. So this is gonna go to, which I'm gonna, again, I'm recycling the old crappy wires. Judge me all you want. I don't care. But I'm going to run this back to the negative side of the battery terminal. And then this one's going to go to our hot side of the battery, which realistically is most likely going to end up going to the battery terminal itself. So we got one wire on the battery right now, right here. This is straight to the battery power ignition. I think what we're going to do is jump this to the battery, and I don't remember if I leave this on the hot side of the battery. I can't remember if this is actually going to turn off with a key, which is why this way, yeah, we'll redo that. I'm going to run this to the battery keyed power source here. So I'm going to have two terminals on the keyed side of the battery. One will be the generator from the regulator to the hot post, the B post on the starter, or the key. So it'll have a battery and a keyed source to the battery. When I turn it off, it'll kill the ignition. Or I can run this straight to the battery, which will essentially do the exact same thing on the hot side. So I'm going to keep working on the other ones. And then, where is my field wire? Here's my field. So I'm going to hook up the field first. Then we'll figure out what we're doing on... I'm going to reuse this wiring terminal, which is the worst way to do it. But this is a bigger than what I have. Regular spade connector, female. And it wasn't crimped that well. So we're going to slap this on here. Grab the actual crimpers. I've literally been putting off wiring this up for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. And doing it now and looking at everything. Now we're crimped nice and good. We got a nice double bend on there. So this is going to go to our field. There's our field terminal. And again, we'll clean all this up. Field terminal D plus is our armature. This one needs to get another crow's foot to the battery. Ooh, baby. Tripping over hot rod parts over here in the corner. These connections are so terrible, but I'm more concerned about just getting this thing done. So this will go here. That's one thing to clean these up, and it's a separate circuit. All of the rest of the bike, if you go back a couple of videos, we cleaned all that up. Everything's in wire loom like it's supposed to be. This one, I'm honestly not that concerned for now. This is a completely separate circuit. So now we are going through, and I just loosened the terminal on the top side of the hot side for the battery. So this will drop into here, like so. We'll just run this straight across for now. Nice, clean, kind of out of the way. Drop your tools, because that always helps. So now we have the red lead going from the battery post over to the B+ on the regulator. We have our DF, or field, coming up from the generator to the F here. That's not tight enough. Let's tighten that one up a little bit more. Like I said, this is a worn out spade connector that should get a screw through it. We're going to do eyelets and actual screws on all of these at some point. So me double crimping that and saying that it was good, I lied. And you witnessed it. This is the half-assed part of a build. And like I said, I'll explain all of that at a later juncture. Okay. Do as I say, not as I do, right? That's also a thing. So we missed part of the connection here. I don't really care right now. It is what it is. Yell at me and roast me on the internet all you want. This is just where we're at right now. And then we need to hook up the ground side, which, again, I'm even using a flathead to loosen the battery bolts, because that's how little I care right now. So we do have a nice thick ground on here, so it's good on the battery side of the connector. That one's crimped on really well. This down here, not so much. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we got frayed wires and all sorts of broken crap. 'Tis what it is. But we'll loosen the little 8mm out of the battery, and we'll take the ground, and hopefully I don't electrocute myself. So far so good. Drop this down here. We'll snug this up. Can't even get to this all the way because of the stupid seat. That's what wrenches are for. When you tighten down a battery, use the right size wrench. Don't use a 5/16 on an 8mm. I think that's what I'm doing right now. That would be my guess. I feel like batteries are the one reason you need to keep at least a 10mm on you at all times. Again, this is the ground side, so I'm not as worried about hitting the shock tower. Otherwise, be careful. You'll zap yourself pretty quick. So I just did a quick little check on the old internet, and I think, based on Excel's website, it says to jump the B+, or their instructions for the mechanical regulator, jump the B+ to terminal 61. That's kind of what I thought it was, but we're also going to do a quick Jenny flash here. So hot side of the battery is over here. Here's the hot side of the battery, which we're hooked up to by this jumper wire that I got here. And what's the better view? I think that works. Okay, hot side of the battery. Got a live feed here. This goes to the armature, the A, which is the front side here. So when I click this, it's going to 1 spark, 2, you might hear a click. Like so. So A, you also want to tighten these down. Let me do that first, just to make sure. I do have a live feed now, so now I got to be a little bit more cautious. I didn't disconnect anything like I'm supposed to on the battery itself, but when you're messing around with electrical stuff, just disconnect the battery. It's one post. Unless you're me and like drinking and living on the edge. You don't have to worry about the field one nearly as much, but the armature one is going to be a hot setting. So we're going from battery to post. Clicks, clicks. And then we're going to run one more from the B+ side of the regulator to terminal 61, which this is a little bit sketchy. They tell you in the directions to use a short little jumper lead, but we're going to go from the B+, all of which are covered in paint, but I think there's enough clean material to get a good connection, to, and the 61, like so. Just like that. Now that's flashed, and we are polarized. So we polarize the generator, polarize the rectifier. In theory, everything should be good to go. I don't know. I'm not firing this up right now because this bike doesn't have any fluids in it. But the rest of it should be about there, minus the old carburetor. So I do have the butterfly that's going to go on here. I'm going to bolt that up real quick and try and get this thing fired up with just the butterfly carb. The Bendix is still sitting down here. I haven't had a chance to go through and clean it. The accelerator pump on this is completely messed up. And the main reason I'm looking at running the other carb is I have a ton of CVs that I really think would be a much better carburetor for this. It's also the carb that I run on every one of my bikes, so I'm much more familiar with them. I'm not opposed to the Bendix. I do want to keep running this, but the accelerator pump's messed up. The aftermarket crap parts that I have are too big to fit into the bore of the accelerator pump in the float. So what that means is I'm going to bolt up the butterfly, which has a flange already attached. It looks just like the backside of this Bendix. It's a butterfly. It's not ideal. Everybody hates them. But for a bone stock bike, like, well, relatively bone stock bike, it's got some head porting and P-cams, nothing fancy. This would have came with P-cams, but I got P-cams in the cam chest and pretty ported heads. Not over the top aggressive, but pretty big ports in the heads. Shouldn't make that big of a difference in terms of running and startability. Maybe rideability, we'll kind of see if I ruined it. But I'm guessing it's probably going to run really well based on experience. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to drop in the butterfly carb that I have sitting there at the shop that was out of a running 1200, like 87. Came out of an 87 Evo. It's a 1200 carb factory. The idle mixture screw adjuster is undrilled, unmolested, but that was a running bike, which means in my head it's a running carb. We're going to drop that on here, then we'll try and get this fired up this week. Needs fluids, needs gas, and a fuel line. And if I run the butterfly, I don't need to cut the end off of the throttle cable, which, if I understand Bendix's correctly, that valve right here is what I need to actually use as a pinch stop on the cable. I don't want to waste a cable if I don't have to. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We're getting real close to that 1,000 mark. Do me a favor and hit that like or subscribe button. Means a million. I don't even know. I can't even quantify. Means a ton to me. Costs you nothing. We're learning together. I don't think I'm an expert on anything. I think I have enough knowledge to get myself in trouble. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I appreciate the support. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Costs you nothing. Boosts my ego. Makes me more motivated to work out here. Lots more stuff coming your way. I need to wrap up this Ironhead. 1, I need to sell this. 2, I can't sell it until after June because we got one more bike show that this is going to go into that I promote in Chicago. Motoblot down in the actual city over at Cobra Lounge. We'll be out there for that. And I need to use this as a shop promo bike before I get rid of it, and then I can start playing around with car stuff again. There is so much car stuff coming, it's not even funny. So if you're here for the bikes, I apologize for that. Help me out, getting real close to that 1,000 mark. Tell your friends if you're interested. If not, don't like or subscribe, and that's cool too. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys on the next one.